Once gives on his feet, Hawks and shoot by Burger King and Messiah on God Son House House being taught. Zapple Matthew 24 touch and Matthew 24 time because Nick Shelba, the love made show I sold.
Asked the taxi to take them to their home first. They were only in their house a matter of minutes before they left, armed with kitchen knives. Maxwell got in the driver's seat, Donlin in the front and Clegg in the back. They travelled to Paul's home, armed with knives. Whilst in the car, Donlin sent an audio message to an associate. In it he said, "I'm going to stab him right now." He also sent a message referencing a man involved in the initial altercation and said that he's dead. It's thought that Maxwell, Donlin and Clegg didn't know where the other man was, so they headed to Paul's house and they wanted to kill each one of them one by one. Having decided on Paul as their first target, Liam continued to send voice notes and messages promising to film the murder and get it on Snapchat. He went on to say, "I'm going to absolutely chop this kid up." The three arrived at Paul's house and parked down the street in an attempt to go unnoticed. By this point, Clegg had Liam's phone and was ready to film the attack. They approached Paul's front door, armed with knives, and knowing Paul was scared of the repercussions from her mother and brother, Clegg knocked on the door and spoke to Paul through it and reassured him it was okay to answer. When he did, Maxwell and Liam barged their way in and stabbed him in the chest. Clegg filmed from just before Liam opened the door to just after the attack. His murder was heard on footage that was shown in court. His sister Clegg left the scene, stopping back at the car before she called 999. She wasn't ringing them to tell the truth and not to get Paul help or because she was horrified by her brother's actions, but it was instead to spin a web of lies to cover up what she had done. She told the ambulance service call handler that her name was Emily and she was with her brother who was called Callum, and she didn't know what had happened to Paul Scott. Then as the call handler taught them through CPR, she told them that he was already dead and she didn't know what to do. Police arrived and Joanne continued her daughter's lies. All three were arrested and taken into custody, and a Home Office post-mortem concluded that Paul died from a stab wound to the chest. It was so severe that it pierced through skin, tissue and muscle and continued into his heart. Paul's blood was found on Liam's clothing and the 3 knives were located in Paul's sink and the third was found in a car. Liam, 25 years old from Darwin, pled guilty to the lesser counts of manslaughter and possession of a knife, but not guilty to murder. Maxwell, 44, from Darwin, pled not guilty to murder, manslaughter and possession of a knife before pleading guilty to manslaughter on the 3rd day of trial. Clegg, 22 years old from Darwin, pled not guilty to murder, manslaughter and possession of a knife. After a 13-day trial at Preston Crown Court, a jury heard the evidence and unanimously found them all guilty of murder. They also found Maxwell and Clegg guilty of possession of a knife. On the 20th of March 2026, they appeared back in court to be sentenced. Liam died.
Without these all praise for children of Burger King, Messiah on God Son, shout that show on.